Hello. Hello. Happy Sunday or Monday, depending on where you are in the world. I changed both of those, so that should be good. Yay. So, happy Sunday. It is almost the middle of the month. Tomorrow will be the middle of the month, which is kind of unbelievable. I have not done nearly enough prepping for next month if I'm intending to do Camp Nano, which I am. So that means I have a whole lot of outlining to do between now and the 30th. So we'll see. Sarah, hello. I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to do the full outline of both projects that I wanted to, but I want to at least get one of the outlines done. Hello, Hannah. How are you? I had a lovely package delivered to my doorstep this morning. I had been kind of waiting and on the fence about getting Save the Cat, and decided to go ahead and get it. And I got a little mini ruler for my bullet journal because the one I have is plastic, and so when I use it to do like when I use it to cut scrapbooking paper to make sure I have a straight edge, then I find myself cutting into the plastic acrylic. So I wanted to get a little metal one so that I will stop doing that. Because after you like shave off enough of the plastic ruler, then it's no longer straight. So when you use it for cutting straight lines and you cut into it and then you use it to draw straight lines, it's kind of a mess. So I found this one, which, like, you know, it's a little teeny tiny ruler, which is what I wanted. But I don't know. Sometimes it seems like the price of things is kind of ridiculous. Because like this was like $2.50. It's like, it's a lot for a little teeny tiny ruler. But maybe that's just me and I'm cheap. I don't know. But yeah, so okay. My brain says it's a little out of whack today, but that's fine because that's a normal day, right? So I think I will be, I want to do some outlining today rather than doing the editing because, again, halfway through the month and still haven't done the outlining that I want to for the two projects that I want to do. So I think that's what I'll be doing, is trying to flesh out an outline today. Jenna says, hello, everyone. Alley Cat says, hello. Sarah says you need one like that for the Bujo. You have the same problem with plastic rulers. Yeah, which I didn't really think about until I started using my little X-Acto knife more often. And because I didn't used to like decorate the bullet journal with like scrapbooking stuff, but I tried it a couple times and I liked it. So yeah. Okay, I need to put a sticky note where I am in my editing so I can come back to that. I love sticky notes, but I have far too many of them. My desk is littered with them. I just have far too many. But that is okay. For now. I can always pretend like I'm going to go back to them, right? Okay, so timer. We want 15 minutes for our first lovely sprint. Sarah's going to be doing some outlining too for a short story that she'll be drafting this coming week. Nice. Very nice. I finished, what did I finish? I finished the prompts for Book Crush Week, and I finished the prompts for this coming week of June Writing Challenge that's been on Instagram. I've been posting my answers on my blog. just as sort of like something to try and keep my blog alive because I keep ignoring it. Dawdling writer, procrastinator, all that kind of stuff. So I've got that done and out of the way for this week. But I want to get a head start on that. Not really a head start because we're halfway through the month, but I want to get my outlines fleshed out for the 2 projects. For the novella that I'm working on, the romance novella, I thought I'd try my hand at it because I do love romance. Reading it, it's fun and fluffy, or could be thrilling depending on which sort of subgenre I decide to fall into. And then Project Gray too. Okay, I keep like switching between tabs and then I don't know if the screen is still live. Okay. I'm a little bit discombobulated today, apparently. My brain is not functioning. So I apparently need this 15-minute start to get my brain sort of like trained to think we're going to work. So first sprint, I will be outlining. Please let me know in the chat if you are outlining, editing, drafting, working on other things. Do let me know. But we are going to start the first sprint, 15 minutes, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okie dokie. That was the end of sprint number 1. How did we do? Let's see. I feel like I did pretty good for that sprint. I got 152 words with the outline, sort of rearranged some points, have begun to sort of flesh out an idea for my novella that I'm going to be writing during camp. Let's see. How did everybody do? I saw a couple of people popped in. Vanya Dolly, hello. Vanya says, hello, everyone. Work started again, so you haven't had as much time to join in the writing sprints lately, but we are very glad that you are here. Jenna says that she is drafting today. Vanya is still editing for your friend. You're hoping to finish before the July camp. You can do it. Yes. Let's see. Hannah made some tea, yay, and got around 100 words. Very nice. What kind of tea did you make today? I made myself a matcha latte this morning, and I did not I put too much almond milk in, so it was not as strong as I would like. But that is okay. I can always go make another one. Sarah named some characters. Ooh, big props to you. Naming characters is hard. And you started working on the plot. Excellent. Vanya says, well done. You got a few pages down as well. And you also made some tea, Lady Grey. Very nice. Earl Grey is one of my favorites. So Hannah made Sicilian lemon. I bet that does smell gorgeous. And Hannah says she loves Lady Grey. Very fancy. Yes. I have sort of several go-tos. So I love, I have the, what do we call it? Bigelow, the company, has one that's called Constant Comment. And it's just like my go-to like fall sort of drink. It's got like orange pips in it. And so it smells very citrusy along with the tea, and it's delicious. But I usually put far too much sugar in it. And that's one that I don't put creamer or milk in. But with Earl Grey, I usually do put a little bit of milk in it. And then I also love chai tea, which, like, if you know about your Asian languages, you're actually saying like tea when you say chai. But it's like the spiced tea. So those are some of my go-tos along with green tea. And then in the summertime, iced Lipton tea, just like the straight up just iced tea blend. Like, that's the one you gotta go with way too much sugar in it because it's the South. Jenna wrote about 400 words. And so your running total for the day thus far is 1,300. Nice. And Vanya says, Team T. Yes. That is a team that we can get behind. Yes, I do love a good chai tea latte as well. There's just something about the added spice in there. And for me, I prefer like the regular chai to like the pumpkin spice. For me, that's just like, there's too heavy of a leaning on just like the pumpkin and nutmeg. Whereas the chai has this like very nice blend that I like. So yeah, you don't really do iced tea in the UK very often. Well, you know, it's usually a summertime drink, but in the South, the summer is here like 9 months out of the year. So it just is a thing. But yeah, I can imagine that would be a little odd. Yeah. But, you know, that's just places and their different local drinks. That's just how things go. Gosh, I don't know if my hair is just like too frizzy today. Sorry for being extra like girly and whatnot. Am I implying that the UK doesn't have much of a summer? Yes. Jenna says, I love sweet tea. My dad was from the American South, and so Southern food and soul food is like coming home. Yes. Yes. And I joke around with my family in that, you drive to see them for the holidays or for even the weekend. And as soon as you walk in the door, it's like, hey, how are you? I missed you. Are you hungry? Would you like some food? There's XYZ in the front fridge, and in the back freezer, you've got these other things. So, like, we want to feed you. We want to make sure that you are well fed. And so there's always like, we've got these things to drink, and you have like this whole list of a menu. We've got these things in the fridge. We can make you something new if you don't like the leftovers that are in the fridge. It's just like everything. We want to feed you. So, yeah, and it's a definite thing. And you have to have deviled eggs at like family dinners. You've got to have biscuits. Bacon is always a must. I mean, it's a wonder that like, we aren't having more strokes in the South because of all the salt that we eat and all the sugar and everything else. But yeah. Okay. So, speaking of, don't forget to hydrate and make sure that you are drinking something, whether it is Sicilian lemon tea or not. And let's go ahead and do another sprint. How long are you guys interested in doing this next sprint for? Do we want a funky number? Do we want a 20-minute, 25-minute? What kind of number are you interested in? It sounds lovely. You're finished and we're just socially awkward at any occasion. Well, yeah, there's a lot of that too. There is a lot of that too. And Hannah says, I empathize with that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, it does, I'm sure it depends on the family, but it is in, my mother's side of the family, we have like lots of extended cousins and everything, and so the holidays are usually a big to do. There's always some sort of family dinner, and it's always just like you're walking in and like there's food that has been prepared like normal for the week, and then they have all the extra groceries for whatever the family dinner is, and it's just like, hi, I hope you're hungry. So all right, Hannah says 22. That sounds good to me. I like that. So, I should probably share the screen. Do. 22. Alrighty, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, that was the end of the second sprint. And how do we do? I continued my outline and I got another 540 words in the outline, sort of fleshing out motivations and goals for characters, what some of the family circumstances are going to be, things like that. So, doing pretty good, making some progress there. So I feel like this novella idea is solidifying a bit. The last time Allie said that she had been organizing stuff with her story, and so I was like, ooh, organizing. I should do some of that. Allie said you do it often, need to do it often, especially with your novel when you're editing, not working on the organizing right at the moment, but need to do some more today. I am not naturally very organized. My brain doesn't typically think that logically. And so I sort of have to constantly remind myself, oh, hey, I should organize this. I should put this in order. I should do these things. So it does not come naturally to me, but I know I have to, otherwise things sort of devolve into chaos. And then it becomes even harder to find things. So Drew popped in. Hello, how are you? We are good. I am good. I don't know why I'm using the royal third person there. Better Days are here, is here, and says hello. Alley Cat says her brain is not naturally organized as well. Hannah got 611 words that time. Very nice, very nice. Sarah, working on your main character's background leading up to the start of the story. Nice. Jenna, total daily word count. Ooh, now up to 1826, and you realized you need to add the release date of songs and albums so that you're not referring to them 10 years before they're released. Oh, yeah, that would help. So are some of your characters musicians then? I guess that would make some sense. Or you're sort of like trying to date things by like when songs come on the radio, I guess, maybe. Hannah says she understands that. She refers to films that are out on VHS in your work and project. Definitely need to check the dates for that. Yeah. Yep. Vanya, hello to all the newcomers. You finished a chapter and hopefully you can get through another one tonight. I hope so too. I think you can do it. I think you can. It has been definitely an interesting sort of like couple of months for just progress in writing. I feel amazing in that regards. But then everything else in the world is sort of going kaput. Darling writer, my main characters are cellist and a music producer. Nice. The section you're currently working on is set in 1999. Okay. Very nice. I don't know a whole lot about music. I'm not musically inclined. I always sort of refer to myself as half tone deaf because half the time I can tell that I'm off the note and the other half I can't, but I'm usually off the note. So that's how I refer to myself as. So music is not, I like to listen to it, but I can't make it myself. So that's always interesting conversations to have with people when they're like, oh, this, it's real simple to do this. And I'm like, no. But I find stories about musicians fascinating for that reason, because it's a totally different world, totally alien to me, because I don't understand any of it. I was never in choir. I did like the basic of music lessons. I learned a little bit about how to play a piano, but I always had to go like exactly as the notes were on the page. And so music is not my forte. So that's why stories about that kind of stuff or like with more information about it is really interesting to me. I started watching, I think it's Two Set Violin. They're the classically trained violinists, and so they sometimes watch and react to music in movies and whatnot, and so that they are like both poking fun at it, but they also educate you at the same time. So it's fun to watch them. So Alley Cat didn't write anything, had something to do, but you did read a bit. Vanya, yeah, you feel awful for everyone who's been touched and affected by the pandemic. Yeah, but it was quite nice to have 2 months off to write. Yeah. That and the whole, everything with the Black Lives Matter movement is also, we had another shooting in Atlanta on Friday, and so more protests, more police brutality, and our chief of police stepped down to take the Atlanta one, stepped down to take responsibility for it and to sort of lead the charge for leaders taking responsibility and beginning the change. So just everything that's going on in the world, just it feels surreal at sometimes, but I mean, it's not, because the Black communities have been living in this the whole time. And then like my sister-in-law is a family practitioner, and so her office is having to do some of their building was closed for a while, and some of the medical practitioners and whatnot were reassigned to the ER at a different building, and then they had to do sort of like a drive-by clinic situation, and are still kind of having to do that. So it's been a crazy year. Drew says you wish you could play violin, but you think it's nicer to just listen to it. Yeah, I like listening. You heard music and got excited. You're a musician. It's always fun to talk about. Yeah. Alley Cat wants to, or Drew, Alley Cat wants, Drew wants to know what kind of music that Alley Cat plays. There we go. Words. Did band mostly, a bit of choir, although your heart belongs to band. You need to practice your flute. Okay, so flutist. Hannah played sax at school. Ooh, but dabbled in the flute. You definitely weren't good at flute. Interesting. Have you guys seen the saxophone cover of Dance Monkey, of a guy in a suit playing the sax on like the waterfront? It's really good. Can't remember his name at the moment though, but it's floating around on YouTube. So if you could do just like street sax performance of Dance Monkey, it's a good one. I like that one. Jenna worked at a classical radio station in college and worked in the music section of Barnes & Noble's afterwards. You love reading histories of various music genres. Yeah, nice. Been researching music production and the lives of classical musicians for the story. You love Two Set Violin. They're great. Yeah. Instrumental music, movie and video game music, different types of jazz and such. Very nice. There's a rare bright spot of good news. Yeah. Hopefully more police officers and leaders step. I hope so. I really do. Yeah. You play the flute and tenor saxophone. You only own a flute, sadly, since the instruments are expensive, but you have tried alto and soprano sax and alto flute. See, sometimes like I didn't even know there were differences in between like the different like ranges or octaves that saxophones and flutes could do. I thought there was just like one flute and you played it, and then when it became a different size, it became called something else. Like, I mean, I know the piccolo is like teeny, So I just thought that there were just different names for the shapes. I didn't know that like a bigger or like wider one would necessarily become like an alto or a baritone or something. It's all foreign to me. Yeah, I feel bad for the police officers that actually want to be there for the people. You knew somebody who wanted to be a police officer. Yeah, you don't know if they actually did, but they're a pure-hearted person. Yeah, and it is really hard to sort of balance what you know of like a person individually with what the system sort of creates this vortex of just like repeated behavior. And it's really, it's hard when everybody is upset to, you know, to remember that the face of the system is made up of countless individuals, but it's also like the system is wrong at the moment. It is wrong. And so I'm glad that some of our leaders are finally making some changes. So yeah. Alley Cat, yeah, once you're in a band or know someone in a band, you find out there's so much more types of saxophones and flutes and stuff. Yeah. I went to, a friend of mine took me to the to one of the Final Fantasy concerts. And we were trying to figure out what one of the instruments was, because I was like, I have no idea what that instrument is. And so I think we figured out that it was a, oh God, I've forgotten now. Maybe like it was a bass form of, I don't want to say a flute. I want to say maybe like the oboe, but it was like really weird looking. I don't know. But it was a fantastic concert. It was not the like normal big one with everybody's favorite songs. It was the one that was sort of like the smaller concert. I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of it? And at the end, they played the Chobo song, and it was hilarious. Okay. No, I just wrote down Final Fantasy concert. But yeah. Yeah. It was not a bassoon. Like, I looked it up and I was trying to find, like, because I looked up pictures of wind instruments and was like looking for the particular shape, and I don't remember what it was. I might go down the rabbit hole during this next sprint and see if I can try and find it again. But it was like this. No, it was not. It was like a deeper sound, and that was why I was like, what is that? So I was very confused because it had the like weird, the little bend at the bottom that like the saxophone has, but it didn't have like as of a mouth at the bottom, and it just had this like super long. So it was like it was sitting on the floor, like the bend was on the floor, and the lady was sitting up and playing it, and so like the neck stretched all the way up to her mouth as she was playing it on the floor. I don't know what it was. It was really, really odd. But I will see if I can find what it was, or at least like the shape of it. And maybe then I could pop up a picture on the screen, so y'all can tell me if I was right or wrong. But because I don't remember what it is at the moment. But yeah, so it was a really fun concert to go to. So if you get a chance to go to one of the, it might have been. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay. So brain. How long do we want to sprint for next? Here. Okay, I don't think it was the bass clarinet because the neck felt, well, maybe it was. It might have been the bass clarinet. Yeah. I was just looking up some. It was not the contrabass clarinet because it didn't have the double bend. I think it might have been, let me share the screen and see if I can. This one. I think it might have been this one, which they're saying is the bass clarinet. But the contrabass clarinet, it did not have this like double bend thing. So I know it wasn't that. But yeah. So let's see. You're looking up college classes to take. You're going to be majoring in creative writing. You may take Japanese. Oh, please do. It is so much fun. And since there's a different writing system, I don't get messed up with my normal spelling of things, because when I was taking Spanish and then French, I screwed up my spelling so much, because when I would start thinking like, okay, how do I spell this in French? How do I spell this in Spanish? And then my English writing became so messed up. So please, like, take something with a different form of writing, because otherwise your own spelling might get messed up. Let's see. Jenna votes for a funky number for this next sprint. Hannah's going to have bounce and go get food. Well, thank you for joining us. And let's see. Sarah says her cousin played a contrabassoon in high school. It was really nuts. Yeah, it looked really funky. But I think that the particular instrument I may be remembering was the bass clarinet. Probably. Or Latin. You love anime, so you think it'd be fun to. It is. You do get to sort of figure out things a bit better without the subs if you take the Japanese, but it's not always like 100%, because sometimes you have the homophones, things that sound alike, but their kanjis are different. But I highly recommend Japanese. My minor was in Japanese language and literature, so I highly recommend it. But my mother took Latin, and so that's how she knows like all the spelling and grammar stuff, because of all the extra rules for that. So if you like want to become a grammar and word nut for the English language, go for the Latin. If you are wanting to understand your anime and manga without the subbing, go for the Japanese. Jenna took Latin in college. You think it helped you understand English grammar a lot? Yeah. It helps to understand why certain forms work the way they do, and a lot of English grammar is based on Latin. True. Very true. Ella Cat says she never knew anyone that played the contrabassoon, but you heard it when you played at other schools. Your friends were like, what is that? Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard one in person, the contrabassoon, but it is a funky looking instrument. Okay, so now that we are completely distracted, how about shall we do a 2332? think I will go ahead and declare that as the time that we will sprint to. There we go. All right. Third sprint starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that was the end of that sprint. How did we do? I got about 400 words of notes, questions to answer later for Project Gray, to sort of make sure that I have solidified some of the plot lines clearly enough and made sure that my hero is not a static character. So that was 402. So I think that is 1,094 words for the stream thus far. Let's see. Drew said that he would be taking notes. Let's see. Well, then a last name for my character is not existing. Yep, sometimes that happens. Well, thank you for joining us, Drew. We appreciate it. Vanya got halfway through the next chapter, and you're very happy with that. Excellent. That is great. Sarah, your short story is a cozy mystery, so I used that sprint to figure out your suspects and their motives. So Sarah, I've heard this term cozy mystery before. What does that specifically mean? Does that mean that like the detective is like a homemaker and is stumbling across these clues in her daily life, his or her daily life? Or does it just mean like it's a not so gory mystery? What exactly does cozy mystery mean? I should probably just look that up, but I thought while you were mentioning it, excuse me. Goodness gracious. Let's see, Jenna, total for the day is 2,039. Happy dance. Everybody do the happy dance for Jenna. Sarah says that cozy mystery essentially means that the sleuth is an amateur, the gore level is very low, no sex, no bad language, and usually the tone is pretty light. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you for that. I guess several of the mysteries that I have read and kept and enjoyed would fall under that category. I'm not sure. I have a little short story, I guess. I have a couple of short stories that are children's mysteries. The main character is a little, like, 8-year-old boy. And when I first wrote them, there was like, I wrote them for a class. I took a detective fiction class, and we sort of, we went through and reread some of the like original hardcore detective stories, and sort of picked them apart, like the Maltese Falcon and things like that. And so part of that class was we did a 3-week workshop for writing our own detective fiction. And so I created my little Garrett stories. Garrett is the name of the character. And my professor required us with the first story that we wrote. He said there has to be a dead body on the first page. And so I already knew that I was going to do like a children's detective story. So I was like, what? What do you mean there has to be a dead body on the first page? So I killed a teddy bear. So I like ripped the arms off, and like the head was separated and the innards were all spiggling out. And, so I had a dead body. It just happened to be a teddy bear dead body. And I think I amused him because the dead body was described in such a way that, like, you know, it was like the arms were ripped off, the head had rolled over just be under a bush by the school entrance, and the insides were outside and all this. So I did all that, but I never actually said it was a teddy bear until the end of the short story, which, looking back, like, that's probably great for adults. I'm not so sure about for kids, so I had to rewrite it. Plus, I also rewrote it because I had like an actual like dead body later in the story, and so I decided I didn't want that, and so I was rewriting it so that there, you wouldn't have an 8-year-old child encountering a dead body, ideally. So yeah, but that was when he told the class that we had to have a dead body on the first page. I'm sure that like the look on my face was like because like because I already knew, and I had mentioned to him ahead of time because I'd read the syllabus ahead, and all that kind of stuff, and we had been leading up to this because it was the end of the class, and I was just like, you're going to make me do that? Like, you already know I want to do a children's story. Like, why do you make me have a dead body? But he just kind of smirked at me, and I was like, fine, I'm going to murder a teddy bear then. So, yeah. The teddy bear was the school mascot. So, yeah. So, and so there was like two mysteries going on. His uncle, who is fostering him, is an actual like detective, and so he's doing like grown-up cases, and meanwhile Garrett is running around the school trying to see like who saw the teddy bear last, and trying to figure out who or what killed the teddy bear. So yeah, it was it's a fun little story. So I do like my little Garrett. He's my favorite, smallest detective in the world. So eventually Garrett may be published. We'll see. We shall see. All right. It is 3:45. I think I'm gonna have to wind this up at the like 4:00-ish time. So let's do another 15-minute, and then the last bit of chat, and then I will sign off after that. So, yes. So, Alley Cat, organizing your writing journal so you can try to plan things and write down names for name suggestions. Yes. Do that. I should probably make a spread for name suggestions in my bullet journal. That would be a good and handy bullet journal spread to have. But so thank you for that idea. Vanya, time to get to bed. You're welcome for the sprints. Glad you were able to get some editing done. What do I need to do? Share the screen. That's what I need to do. My brain, it's not working. Oh, of course. There we go. All right, last sprint, 15 minutes, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. That was the end of the last writing sprint. How did you do? I got another 568 notes and questions that need to be addressed, some thoughts and things that I need to clarify for my main character's growth in Project Gray to make it a better story. So I feel like that's pretty good. So I got, I think, close to 1,700, I think, ish today. But that feels pretty good because some of that is for the new novella and some of it is for what's going to make my Project Gray a better story. So yay. How did everybody else do? I know that we had a couple people depart for food and evening time. So, goodness gracious. I'm still having issues with my ear being sort of like stopped up, so I need to go like dose that again. But I feel like today has been a pretty good day, pretty productive. Got a blog post scheduled for tomorrow. Got more of an outline done. Took some notes and asked some questions about my main character's motives. So I feel like it is a pretty good day, pretty good stream. And that's really all I look for is to that feeling of progress at the end of the day. So let's see. Alicat said you did some more name stuff for your journal in the planner and you got distracted. Yeah. Sarah researched social media addiction, which your main character is recovering from. Interesting. Yeah, that is definitely a relevant topic for a lot of people now that need to be on social media. And that is something that a lot of people, I think, are going to be needing some relief from. It is a wonderful tool, but it can become a real obsession for a lot of people. And especially since the target area or the target audience for social media is so young, it is definitely a topic that needs to be talked about. But yeah. Okay, Jenna said your daily total thus far is 2,465. Yay! With 1,523 new words during the stream. Yay! I think you might have been the most productive with if you're just drafting, since I'm like asking questions and then responding. So I think you have like maybe the most most new words today in the stream. But yeah, that's very awesome. Very awesome. Alrighty, y'all. I think that is going to be it for me, since I do need to sign off a little bit earlier today. Hopefully next week I'll be able to go to the 5 p.m. mark. But I will be back tomorrow during my normal weekday times, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Monday, Wednesday, Friday of this coming week. So I will see y'all next time, I guess. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and a good beginning to the week if you see Monday before I do. So I will see y'all later. Bye.